listening to Retro Station, a retro game podcast. This is episode number 2. Just a big old number 2, right in your ears.
Hi everybody, welcome to Retro Station, a retro game podcast. I am David.
I'm Hilary.
And I'm Steven.
And this is our second episode. Very excited about that. All right, so what have you guys been doing since last time we recorded?
I haven't played a whole lot other than this week's game. I did go back and play a little bit of the new Tetris to build my buildings.
The new Tetris.
But other than that, I've been busy with my work stuff, so I haven't had a lot of time to play other games. So
Yeah. What about you?
So I've had a chance to play a few different games. I played Crash Bandicoot for a little bit. The trilogy was on the Steam sale.
Oh, nice.
So I picked that up. I can't remember what I paid for it, but it was very cheap. I think it was like $5 or less.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
Yeah, for the 3 games, and I was playing through that. I remember as a child when I was playing through Crash Bandicoot, it was tough, but I breezed through the first few levels like half the first world or whatever. Like it was nothing. And I think when I set it down, I had like 30 odd lives. And I wasn't like going out and looking for them. It was just like literally walking through the levels. So I played that. I played Curse to Golf, which is a lot of fun. It's definitely one that you can just pick up and do a level or so while you're laying in bed. That's kind of like a puzzler golf game. And then the big one that I've been sinking a lot of time into is Baldur's Gate 3. I actually played about... This is gonna be embarrassing. I played like 22 hours of the game. And...
Wait, over how long a period of time?
Since we last spoke.
Does that?
It gets worse. Okay.
Good.
since we last spoke, speaking of, where did you land on the bear?
Okay, so yeah. So here's the thing. I guess a little bit before I last spoke. When we spoke last, I was probably about 10 hours in, and I realized that I did like it's an old game, so I'm not too worried about spoiling, but I'll try not to spoil as much as I can. I got to a certain point in the game, and I progressed the storyline. And I chose to side with the hot goth mama, Minthra.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
And I killed the druids, so I didn't get to do the bear.
Or land on it. For that
Yeah,
matter.
and then I found out after I did that, because it progressed the storyline, I lost out on like a lot of items that I didn't pick up from either store, the Goblin store or the Druid store. So I progressed a little further down, and like I said, I got about 22 hours into that. And I realized you also, choosing the Goblins, you lose 2 followers, 2 companions, like main story companions. And for me, the Baldur's Gate 3 experience, I really want to do as much as I can, and losing 2 basically storylines really rubbed me the wrong way. So like I said, I got 22 hours into that, and then I restarted. I also I looked at the wiki page because I have very little Dungeons and Dragons background, so I don't know as far as like what your guys can become. I was kind of just going with the flow and kind of keeping to their normal, what they started with. So I did a little research on the wiki, and I was kind of looking at different things and what kind of ability scores they use and what I could combine, because I wanted to, like, you only get to use 4 characters at a time.
Right.
Even though you have so many. I wanted to make it so I can explore as many, I call them job classes. What are they called? I guess they're classes.
Yeah, classes.
As possible. And so I wanted to, like, multi-class everybody. So I actually wrote down, like, everything that I kind of wanted to do with this playthrough. And I put in another 25 hours into my new character. And I haven't even started touching the main story because there's so much to do in the first portion of the game.
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like, I've beaten JRPGs in the same amount of time that it's taken to just get to the point where I am right now.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it
so
does.
I'm pretty encumbered. By that.
So are you playing Side of the Druids this time then? Is that the deal?
Yes.
Because not having the two characters rub you the wrong way?
Correct.
Do you expect the bear will rub you the right way?
I'm probably going to avoid the bear. He doesn't do it for me.
I mean, give him a chance.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if he can romance me. I'm playing my main character is a barbarian, a dwarf barbarian.
Yeah.
And I made her look like a dwarf slayer from Warhammer.
Okay.
So the orange hair and stuff.
Nice.
Tattoos.
Right.
Things like that. Because I feel like Slayer would definitely be like a barbarian type. They're trying to get themselves killed.
Yeah. And I'm saying the bear probably is a little bit rough. So,
They're like 3 times the size.
Yep, that'll do it. Okay, good. Well, I feel like we're going to be probably a year or two into this, and you're still going to be talking about what happened in Baldur's Gate 3.
I don't know. There's some other games that I'm looking forward to play.
Gotcha.
That I've picked up on Steam.
I've been playing just kind of random Genesis games, not too in depth though. Like I played Truxton, which I had back in the day. I played mostly shoot 'em ups. Zero Wing, Troubleshooter. I tried eSWAT because I was always curious about it, but I didn't know what it was really about. And it's interesting. I don't know if I like it. I played El Viento, which seemed really cool until I realized you have 1 life. I was so mad.
And somehow you can take a hit by a helicopter and not
Yeah, you can, all kinds of things can hurt you. But no, it's, you have a life bar, I guess, sort of, so I guess it's something, but 1 life. I'm against that, El Viento. You're wrong. Other than that, they were all fine, I just didn't play too deep into any of them. Other than that, I've had this, I don't know how long it's been going on, this thing where I've been trying to build up a really big hard drive, full of, a big gaming library. And I'm basically on hard drive number 3, because the first 2 died on me. Or just crashed out. I don't know if it's because they overheated or what. Then the third one had some kind of trouble with a corrupted file structure, so I couldn't read off of that anymore. So I had to I've been in the process of backing that back up so I can put it back on there. And I guess it's just, when you get the big hard drives, they're very sensitive. And so I haven't been going in and you have to tell the computer to eject the thing that's in the USB thing, and that's a gentle way to unplug it, essentially. And so I hadn't always been doing that, and so I think that was the cause of the problem, but it's other drives I have not been nearly so picky. It's just these big drives, I think, it doesn't take much to mess with them, so it's been a kind of frustrating thing. If it ever gets done, it'll be awesome. It was awesome for a while because we, last week I created a Tetris collection, and it just automatically populated it with, Tetrises from Apple IIe to Xbox 360, and it was awesome. But, oh man, it's been a little bit of an ordeal. I hope I can get it and just have it stabilized and just have it go, because it's awesome when it was working, but man, I don't know, these big hard drives, I think I know why people don't do that a lot. It's just, they're so finicky and easy to kind of screw up. And then when you do try to back stuff up, because it's so many files, it takes days to back everything up. And I haven't been able to use my computer, which is, I could have, but I didn't want to touch anything and risk messing anything else up, so.
Speaking of new games, quite a bit has happened, actually. So, as I had mentioned before, the Steam sale.
Yeah.
Did you guys get anything?
I got mostly some small, actually a lot of shoot 'em ups. I don't know what's going on with me today in shoot 'em ups. Mostly that. I got the Final Fantasy VII remake because I thought I had it on my computer, but I don't.
I think we had it on.
We had it on PS4 or something, but the TV is always in use, so I can't play a big game like that on there. And this had the Yuffie extra content as well, so I got that, but I haven't messed with it yet, and that's about as new as I got.
Yeah. What did I get? I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
I got Half-Life 2, Golf It, Fallout Classic Collection, which is Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics.
Love those.
Borderlands 3, Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3, Curse to Golf, Hard West 2, which is a CRPG in the West,
Okay.
which I'm excited to play
Yeah, sounds cool.
if my life isn't getting sucked away by Baldur's Gate 3, which I also picked up.
Realistic, or are there like creatures and stuff like that?
No, it's like a dark Western fantasy.
Okay.
And apparently what's cool about it is you can use the environment and you can build you collect cards and you can build poker hands that actually buff your characters.
Nice.
So when you get better hands, you do better stuff. And then with the environment, I think there's some reactionary stuff because it's the playstyle is going to be more like your old Fallouts, your Wastelands, your Baldur's Gate fighting, where it's top-down, turn-based. But instead of exposing yourself, because if you kill somebody, your actions actually regenerate, so you can go on a killing spree. But you can use the environment. So if you see a metal grate or something, you could shoot off of it and go around corners and stuff. So I got Baldur's Gate 3. I got the Portal Bundle, which was Portal 1 and 2. I got Space Marine 2.
Space Marine.
I got Terraria. I got Darkest Dungeon.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I got Tales of Arise. I got Hogwarts Legacy. Skyrim Anniversary Edition.
Nice.
Nexomon, which is supposedly supposed to be... We talked about this last week, about how we'd difficulty spikes on games. It's supposed to have that for Pokemon. And then Blasphemous.
Nice. That's a Metroidvania, right?
Yeah, I think that was everything.
Right on.
What I did end up canceling my Final Fantasy Tactics pre-order.
Yeah. Mainly
because I already own those games. When I found out it was more just voice acting and repolishing of the script with a few minor life improvement changes, I was like, why would I spend $50, $60 on a game that I already know how to play?
Yeah.
And I was playing it when I first got my Steam Deck. That was one of the first games I plugged into was Final Fantasy Tactics, and it was I don't know, the quality of life. I guess maybe because I was so used to playing the game already, it's not a huge deal for me. So yeah, I put that into games that I didn't own.
Gotcha. Now, because I know how Steam libraries work, of all those games you played, what percentage do you think you will play before you die?
Well, see, that's a trick question.
Yeah.
Right? Of all the games I own now, probably play about 70% of them before I die.
That's good.
But the problem is that, or I'd like to say 70% of them. But here's where the problem lies, is because your Steam library doesn't actually end. It never ends.
Right.
Because while I have 70 games downloaded to my Steam Deck at the moment, and I've completed probably 4 or 5 of them so far since I've owned the Steam Deck. The problem lies is how many winter and summers come before I die.
I see.
Yeah, because that's when they do those sales.
Right.
And how many new games come out that I want to play.
Right.
Yeah.
That, I have to justify buying.
Yeah.
And if a new game comes out, it might push away old games. So.
Yeah, I know. And that was not a judgy question, because I live over my Steam library. I'm sure I'll get to that one day. Sure I will. And
I mean, there was obviously games that I did pick up that were $1.
Right.
That if I get to it or not, it was $1. I would rather have it in my library to play for that $1 than think about it later. I really wish I would play that game, but now it's back up to 20.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, it makes total sense. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I make similar decisions.
I mean, because back in the day, you'd pay like $2-3 to rent a game. What's the difference
Right.
between paying $1 to buy the game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's a good point. Yep, absolutely. So yeah, I'm with you. It's more like the expensive ones. With the things like, oh, this is full price, I'm totally gonna play it, and then like you don't have time for some reason, and then a Steam sale happens, and then you're like, oh, but look at all this new stuff now, and then you don't get back to that game you actually played
Yeah.
full price for. Those are the ones that hurt me.
I do a lot of research before I buy games, like on
That's wise.
on YouTube and podcasts and stuff. I will go listen to like what they liked or disliked about that game, and I try to pick people to listen to that have in the past said we have similar likenesses
Right,
in
yeah.
games. So, because like if someone was to say, I don't like this game, you can take that at face value. But like, what games do you like? You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no, I even if I have a reviewer that I disagree with a lot of times, that's even okay as long as they tell me specifically what it is they didn't like, because sometimes I'll hear those and be like, oh, actually, I don't mind that, or even I like that, so that's fine, and I can still take their information and be like, okay, this either is or isn't a game for me.
Right.
And that's, yeah, no, I a lot of times I'll do that too. If it's a game I'm not sure of, some games I'm like 99% sure are going to be awesome out of the gate, but like some of them, it's like, yeah, I want to get some input on this because I don't really know enough to, make a decision that makes me feel comfortable with buying it. And as long as they tell me what is and isn't good, I feel okay with it, even if I would give it a higher or lower score than they would. So.
Well, and then I'm the same way. It's like, okay, well, do I have the same views as this person reviewing the game or not? And that's a big reason why we did our intros in the first episode. So even if you don't like Tetris, maybe go back and listen to that, because we talked about a lot of our gaming past, so you can have an idea of what our views are on games.
That actually reminds me. We did the whole intro thing last time, and we have this retro gaming podcast, and I don't think I actually talked on that about what we're considering retro games for this podcast. And I realize that everyone has a different definition of that. There's some people, it's like, if it's not the standalone Pong, that's not even retro. And so just to clear it up, in general, it's going to be like the PS2 era earlier. We might occasionally, dip into PS3, 360, that era, but I'm not planning anytime soon to be doing PS4, Xbox One.
I have a question.
Okay.
And I know Tetris spans multiple consoles.
Yeah.
When we're talking about retro games and PS2 prior, are we including computer games in that as well? Or just strictly
We can't.
mainline consoles?
As we'll probably do more consoles than computer games, but I'm not against doing computer games as long as it's something that we all have access to, fairly easily, and that will run on current systems. You know what I mean? Like some old games are not super friendly with new stuff. So I don't think I have. Did we ever put that in the randomizer PC games at all? I don't know if we did.
I think we didn't because of the difficulty of the emulators.
That's
with
fair.
that.
I think honestly a lot of older computer games too are getting remastered or put onto consoles as well.
Right.
Like when you think of like the Diablos and things like that. So that's just a question.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like you had mentioned, like, what do you consider retro games?
Right.
Like me, who's about to be 40 this year, I think of PS2 and I'm like, that's hardly retro.
Right? I have trouble with it too.
But like you asked my kid who's gonna be 10 this year, they probably think the PS4 is retro.
Right?
You know what I mean? So
I know,
it's like
it's insane. The main reason I decided to kind of cut it off there a little bit is because I don't know if you guys will agree. Like the jumps between generations was pretty big for a while. Like 8 to 16 was pretty massive. 16 to 32 was pretty massive. Once you get to PS3, like PS2 to PS3 is big. After that, I feel like they're a little more incremental. Like I could see a PS3 game if I wasn't familiar with it, and you could say, "Oh, this is on PS5," and I wouldn't necessarily doubt you.
I heard that with the Sony. Like I was big Sony gamer. PS1, PS2. Like that was a huge part of my childhood.
Right.
A big majority of my library. But then I went off and did other things, stepped away from like gaming in general, got into like tabletop gaming and stuff. I heard like the 3, 4, and 5 was pretty samey, and like I don't know do you know what the year span was between 3, 4, and 5?
I feel like they came out every like 2 or 3 years.
I think it was like 5, 4 or 5. Yeah.
Because I know a lot of games you can get for 4 or 5, and
Yeah.
I heard that like there's not a lot of exclusives for the PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean
maybe that are exciting people.
Yeah, I mean there's more now than there used to be, I think. For a while it makes sense if you're a game developer, right? And you have people that already have the PS4s out there, and then the PS5 comes out, you want to get your thing on that system, but if you can basically do the same thing and just up the graphics a little bit or downgrade the graphics and get like the already installed user base out there to buy your game, like why not? Like
Yeah, it seems like there's at least a good like 6-month period where they'll release the games on both systems, and then
yeah. And like, so I don't know if it's recent anymore. Several months ago, I bought the new WWE game, and that was available on both the new systems and the older systems. But this is the first time that I'm aware of where there was actually a couple significant differences in that, like, the new or the current generation has a mode that the other ones don't, and it's a terrible mode, so I don't miss it. And then also, it used to be like you could go and download other people's creations regardless, but now it depends on what generation you're in. So like, I have the PC one, which weirdly is, they did the previous generation version of, I don't know why. So I can only download things that people made on like the PC or the PS4 or the Xbox One. I can't access the PS5, Xbox Series X, whatever. So it's kind of, I don't know what which one the Switch 2 is going to have that's coming out for that too. So there's weird cutoffs there, but they are still, some of them are still doing that, the PS4, PS5, and I assume they have data like that tells them how many people have each system and, you know, what the value is to them. But I mean, we're getting to the point where companies are already talking about the next systems. So, you know, I don't know, how are they going to keep it going to the end? And if so, like, are we going to have the PS6 and people are still putting out PS4 and PS5 versions?
Yeah,
like, I don't know. It's going to be weird.
Because, like, when I think of, I don't know, I think there was a difference between the controllers. Like, when you look at the Nintendo console systems, like, every single console had a widely different controller.
Yeah.
And even when you look at the Switch and the Switch 2, which are very similar in my eyes, their controllers are different. Yeah, like, the Switch 2 has the mouse mode. So, like, I feel like when Nintendo puts out new consoles, they change fairly drastically. Mm-hmm. But like PS1 to PS2, I think the controller changed. But I think
very,
they've
very slightly
stuck with that controller, and I think Xbox is pretty much stuck with their controller the whole time as well.
Yeah. Like they make like minor. I mean, sometimes. I mean, depending on how you look at it, some of the differences can be big, but the way they feel is all pretty much the same. So there's not a lot of difference there, but I personally am of the mind that that's a good thing. Like, I look at Nintendo, and I've liked Nintendo systems, don't get me wrong, but there's some of them where, I swear to God, like the designers went to their great-grandmothers who don't understand technology at all and said, here's what we want. There's going to be a stick, probably, and like a pad and this many buttons. Grandma, take 4 shots of tequila. Now draw us a controller. What? Like, I swear to God, there's something going on Nintendo where they're on something. Because I feel like they are like, let's not be like everyone else. And sometimes that's good. And sometimes that's not so good. It's not, I don't, like, I don't know. Like, I got used to the Nintendo 64 controller, right? But it's a weird controller. I mean, come on. Even like with the C buttons, all that stuff. I mean, forget about the fact that it has like 3 handles, but that's weird. The GameCube controller is kind of the most like the other 2 brands, but even it's kind of odd. Like the right stick is weird, and like its buttons are all crazy shapes, and like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Nintendo's odd with their stuff, and I think it makes almost more sense to be like, people like this thing. It's working. People usually say good things about it. Let's not, reinvent the wheel, personally, but I don't know.
All right, enough of that. Get to Klonoa already.
Unlike last time where we covered basically an entire series when we did Tetris, we're down to focusing on one game an episode for the most part. We may do something weird every now and again. But through the magic of randomization, we ended up having to pick a Game Boy Advance game that is a side-scroller. and we ended up getting Klonoa Empire of Dreams. Let me tell you a little bit about that. It was published in 2001 by Namco. It did have some previous games. There was Klonoa, the Door to Phantomile on the PlayStation, as well as Klonoa 2, Lunatia's Veil in 2001. Then this game also has a sequel on the Game Boy Advance, also called Klonoa 2, Dream Champ Tournament in 2005. So this game, I've heard two ways. It's either a sequel to the PlayStation 2's Part 2, or it's just a side story. I don't know, and I don't think it actually matters that much. There's not like a big, super strong narrative from one to the next that you need to worry about. So, what the hell is a Klonoa? According to at least one website I found, because I've never known since I first played the game on the PlayStation, it is a long-eared cat. And he can use his little, or big ears, I guess, to sort of flutter. Helps him not fall to the ground as quickly. Basically what his deal is he goes to save dreams wherever they are in danger. So this particular game starts with Klonoa waking up in the Empire of Gilius, where he gets arrested for the crime of dreaming. And the Emperor, I don't know how they knew, that's the weird thing, but the Empire says, okay, well, basically I'm not going to arrest you, but you have to prove your mettle to me and go fight these 4 terrible monsters that are plaguing the land. And so that's the basis for what you're doing. There's basically 5 worlds, because you do the 4 monsters, and then you go back to the castle and you have to do some stuff there as well. And this game, it's a platformer, but it's very puzzly. It's very, very puzzly. And I looked it up because I didn't remember the earlier ones being that puzzly, and I guess the first one is the least puzzly. The second one on PlayStation 2 is a little more puzzly, still more platformy. Then you get to this one and it's very puzzly, and then the sequel to this is somehow even more puzzly, which I don't even know. I don't even know how you do that. We'll talk about that.
I do want to interject something probably important to what storyline there is the king is upset because he has insomnia.
You're right.
Yeah. Speaking of the Emperor, anybody else reminded of Beerus from Dragon Ball Z?
I didn't watch much Dragon Ball Z. And what's his name? Beavis?
It's Beerus.
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 I don't know. I haven't watched much Dragon Ball Z. I know who Goku is. He didn't remind me at all of Goku.
I'm also going to upset anime fans. I don't watch Dragon Ball Z or much anime myself.
All right.
I like anime, but I don't.
Yeah. He's very much
Does it look like just like him?
very similar.
Oh, yeah, like if he was like...
It's like a hairless cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of like his dumpy brother or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that did not occur to me. That did not occur to me at all.
As soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh.
So, in a way, I kind of thought this was a little bit structured like a Mario game, where you have like World 1, level 1, 2, etc., and you do that until you get to... I think there's like 8 or 9.
I have it. There are 40 stages over 5 worlds, 8 per world.
Right on. Okay, cool. Yeah, and at the end there's a boss who's been... his dreams or something have corrupted him, and he's become like a big monster, and you have to deal with him.
Yeah, I think one of the big differences, though, is that, like, on those 8 worlds, some of them are kind of more just bonus levels for you to collect lives, and so there are actually levels that you don't have to play if you want to just try and beat the story mode as quickly as possible. There's some levels that you can actually skip.
Holy shit, what do I do to my notes? That's weird. There's a ruler on them. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, and those, there's 2 different kinds of those levels, and one of them is cool and the other one I don't like as much.
Yeah.
Like, there's a snowboarding. Did you do snowboarding ones at all? Do you remember that? There's a snowboarding level, and that's really easy because it's pretty hard to die for the most part. And you just it keeps moving, and you just sort of jump, and there's gems and stuff you collect. And there are bad guys, so if you smack into enough of them, you die, but it's not too hard. And then there's other levels where it's constantly scrolling, and so you have to keep up with it and make sure you're, jumping where you need to.
Snowboarding.
Yeah.
I thought of it as skateboarding.
I
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Snowboarding without the snow.
Yeah, there was no snow. That's what threw me off.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't think there were wheels.
Yeah, it was like a hoverboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Back to the Future style, man. Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know why I was thinking snowboarding specifically. I want it to be colder. I think is the thing. It's too warm. Yeah, so those are a little bit different. And then, so the way this game plays is your character can, move side to side and jump like in most platformers. But he also has this thing called a wind bullet. I believe that's what it's called. Or he's a wind bracelet, and it shoots this little, like, short gust of air. And what that does is let you grab an enemy and hold on to him.
It's like a wind whip.
Yeah.
And then if you jump and then press your button again, you can use that to kind of double jump. He'll like throw your enemy down and then he'll get a little boost. Or you could throw him straight at the enemy or other objects. And then as you go on, there's like buttons and stuff you need to press to open things. And it gets kind of complicated with the puzzling. I like that mechanic because I've played the previous two Klonoas, so it was kind of familiar to me. But you guys didn't play either of the older ones, right?
No,
I haven't even heard of it before.
First introduction to Klonoa.
And what'd you think about it?
So I think I mentioned in the previous episode that side-scrollers kind of ended with Yoshi's Island, Donkey Kong Country, SNES era for me. And I went on more to JRPGs and 2T RPGs and all those. So coming into this game, I didn't really have, any of the games that would have gotten picked, honestly. I wouldn't have had like super high hopes for it. In regards to this game, I did think that the intro was pretty funny as far as the basis of why you're doing this. And I am confused also how he knew you were dreaming. But anyway, when I got into the first couple levels, and I guess I should ask. I played it on emulator.
Yeah.
Yeah,
both of you played it on emulator. Okay.
Yeah,
so nobody played it on the actual game.
I had it. I had a big game collection, but I had to sell most of it because needing money and space. Like, there's no way. I mean, Game Boy Advance doesn't take up that much space, but like, there's no way I was gonna have like 8 consoles hooked up to a TV at all. So almost everything I'm playing is gonna be on emulator, just because I just can't keep all that stuff. So
yeah. So in regards to this game, I was playing it on like a big screen TV through an emulator, and I found that the music was not great. I don't know if that was just my system or just the beat in general. I didn't find it as catchy as some other games that I've played in the past. It was a bit confusing. I missed a bunch of the signposts, so I figured out everything for myself basically, and I personally played through the first world before stopping, and I think that was mainly because I was 100%ing every level that I did, and I didn't realize until I watched like reviews later on it to get a little more context in the later game that you needed all 3 stars to unlock the door. Yeah. I was just going and collecting every crystal, every star, just to say that I 100%ed the level.
Right.
And I did find the game fun. It did surprise me in that aspect. I do like puzzle games, so the fact that they incorporated puzzling with a side-scroller, I did find that fun. I do find that, I don't know, maybe I don't know the definition of a side-scroller, but it was very like Metroidvania-like, where you would have to backtrack and jump up and back and go in like circles in a way. It's not like a traditional, I guess you would think like Mario or Sonic, the old Mario or Sonic games where you start at one side of the screen and you end at the other. A lot of the times in the first couple levels, the door was right next to you.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, not knowing the rules of the game, I never tried that door because I assumed you had to like have so many stars to get on to the next levels or whatever. But so I did find it all fun in that aspect of having to figure out the puzzles, having to find all the crystals, having to find all the stars. However, I did notice that, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, the mechanics were very simple. You really only had 2 actions, jump and then that whip to collect. And then when you collected a box or monster, you could then use that to double jump.
Right.
And then you would find combinations of moving boxes, throwing boxes through different holes and stuff like that. But I did find that some of the tasks were somewhat tedious, where you would have to like get a monster, double jump, go through a hole, get a box just to throw it back to where you came from, so you could set it up to get that same monster, to jump up to get like another box, and then stack the boxes, and then get that same monster because you need to jump up the boxes.
Yeah.
And then, so, and the fact that there was no like run button, I felt like he was going pretty slow for having to go in loops sometimes.
I wonder if some of that came from playing it on the big screen. Because we played it on handhelds, and like some of it was still tedious, but like I didn't really feel like he was ever really running super slow. So I wonder if like because it was on the big screen, if like that just enhanced that movement.
Might have. And then his ear flutter.
Right.
Yeah.
It was always cool, but like when you're sometimes, so what is it? You hold the jump button,
Right.
and he'll flutter.
Right.
But I felt like, I don't know, it's hard to say. You would like jump over chasms, like pits, and if you held the jump button too long, it felt like it slowed me down.
Yeah.
And then it would like flutter, and I'm like,
He definitely
God,
flutters
make it.
slow. Yeah, he's not zooming. He's like really just like barely getting himself.
and the
keeping
flutter,
airborne.
even though you have like a little bump at the end, it never felt like it was there to get you on a platform. It was always to get like a extra crystal or something that was just out of reach.
Yeah.
So.
I think maybe in later stages, I'm trying to remember. I think there's parts where that bump at the end does get you somewhere you need to be. Although I don't know, like it seems like they could just have him like start fluttering higher, because it seems like he still like dips a little bit before he flutters, and then he hops back up at the end. So I don't know why he didn't just go straight across. So it's kind of a weird mechanic. It's a little bit like Princess Peach in the games where you can control her and she does that little like floaty jump, but it's more awkward, like
Yeah.
because she keeps a good pace going, and it's a little more predictable.
Yeah, it was like, and I feel like, I mean, if you're playing it enough, then you can maybe like kind of time it, but it's like, I felt like the amount of time was like a little unpredictable. Like, I felt like sometimes he would flutter longer and other times he wouldn't.
Yeah, you were talking about how he only has the two moves basically, and that's true. And like he doesn't gain anything as you go through the levels, but what happens as you go through is you end up having to use those in different ways. Like there's different kinds of blocks, or there's like bomb creatures that'll have like a number ticking down that you have to get to a certain place to blow things up, or like there's these like wind vents that blow things up, and so sometimes you have to use that to get up high, and sometimes you'll have to block those with blocks. And so, gosh, I don't know, there's a bunch of different, there's like this block that grabs onto like other blocks, so like you don't change, but the things you interact with change as you're going through. So it gets more and more complicated as you go.
But if that repetitiveness of having to go back to get that same monster to do multiple steps bothers you, then that's not going to get better later on in the game.
No.
At all.
So the reason why, like last episode, I was like, I don't always love the Zelda games, is because I don't tend to like games where you have to do puzzles to get freaking anywhere.
And yeah, you picked this game.
I know. Well, I knew the previous two games, which are not as puzzly, but like, I don't want to have to like Sudoku myself through a water temple. I like Link has a sword and shield, man. Swing at things, you know what I mean? Come on, get this going. You're a fighter. But for some reason, and I don't know if it's the mechanic itself that I just like, it didn't. The general concept of the fact that you have to sort of do puzzles to get everywhere didn't bother me in this game. There are puzzles that did bother me in this game, but just in general, like big picture, I wasn't bothered by this game being almost entirely figure out puzzles to go somewhere. I think because you're in a relatively confined space, like you usually don't have to go do something in one room to go to another room and solve something. It's usually self-contained within one room. I didn't feel like I had to like go far and backtrack a ton for each puzzle.
Unless you miss a star.
Unless you missed, yeah. There's the occasional thing. And I think they were, for the most part, just tough enough where I still felt like I got a good brain workout, but when I finished it, I was like, all right, yeah, I got this. Whereas, some things in some other games, it's like, it's super aggravating, and I feel like, I'm going to spend 2 minutes on this puzzle. If I don't get the answer, I'm looking it up because I'm not wasting my time with this stuff. Only had that a couple times in this game. But you, Steve, you like puzzly stuff though.
I do, in a sense.
But you just didn't like? Was it that combined with the side-scrolling thing that was not quite your thing, or was?
No, because I don't know, if it was just a different, it's hard to say what would change it for me.
Yeah. Well, it's like
I think definitely he needs to be faster. And maybe I need to go home and try it on the handheld to see if that fixes it. But I just felt like the roundaboutness and things like that. Like you had mentioned, most puzzles when you get into a game are contained into a small area, whereas this was a very large area, and there were times where you'd have to go one way, get a key to open a door, to go to a whole nother section to get a key to open a door.
Yeah.
And that, like,
That's the key thing. Yeah,
I think I was talking off camera before we started, where there were times where the door would be right next to it at the beginning. But looking back at it now, you know when the door's right next to you, you're going to be doing a lot of backtracking.
That's true. That's true.
So I think if there was like a run button to make him go through the parts where you didn't necessarily need to puzzle as much, that would have been helpful. And I don't know, like, and maybe you can tell me this, but I didn't feel like needing to throw the bad guy was ever useful. It
definitely is useful in some of the levels.
Okay.
There was definitely times where you needed to throw him in, especially when you got to the bomb ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because you have to throw the bomb. But I did like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that you couldn't really soft lock yourself because the bad guys always reappeared.
Every once in a while, like if it involved a block, that you could mess yourself up by putting the block in the wrong spot or putting the block in a space before you were supposed to. Because sometimes, there's a couple times where I was like, okay, the block very obviously goes there, but you actually need the block to do something else first. But the nice thing about this game is that it has a retry, so you can, if you get yourself stuck, you can just do a retry, and it doesn't make you redo the whole level. It just puts you back into that room that you entered.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it doesn't cost you a life or anything either. That's what I was worried about at first. Like, okay, you can retry, but I wonder if it kills you or takes a little bit. It doesn't. It just resets the room you're in, and you go back in and you can do it, which is fantastic. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of places where you can really get yourself stuck, but it can happen, and so that's a godsend. So it's good that it's there. That they thought of that. So the thing about this game is because it is a platformer / puzzle game, and in a lot of platformers you have certain things where your jumping has to be like super precise, right? And puzzle games, sometimes you have to get them. You have to do things exactly how you have to do them to get the puzzle solved, and both those things are fine. But there are a couple puzzles, especially World 5-3. Screw that goddamn anyway.
That's the one you ended on.
Yeah, that's the one I ended on.
Yeah.
There was a puzzle that I have a medical condition with my arm, and so sometimes repeated motions, like having to smash a button over and over again, really aggravates my arm. And there's a specific puzzle where you had to jump and throw and grab and jump and throw, and but it just really aggravated my arm, so I couldn't get past that puzzle.
Yeah, it's like there's 3 buttons you have to hit. One you can't see, but it'll direct. There's arrows that will direct things that you throw at it to it. So there's 3 buttons you have to hit, and a door opens when all 3 are pressed, but they will become unpressed after a certain amount of time.
Like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's extremely fast. Like, you have to be so freaking pixel perfect to, like, even when I knew what to do, I had to try it over and over and over again before I could actually get it done. And the problem with that, in a game like this where the whole game isn't like that, thank God, is that you can be doing the right thing, but because it's so tight on the time, you could think, well, this must not be the answer because there's no way. I just missed it, so this can't be the answer. But it is the answer. It's just that if you are not, like, seriously 1,000% perfect on everything you do, you're not going to be able to do it. It's that tight. And that's, I don't like that because she got there before I did. She tried it a bunch. I got there and tried it a bunch. It's one of the few times I had to actually just look it up online. And even the people we watched doing the videos had to try it over and over a lot of the times to actually get it completed. And that's aggravating. That's, because I think a lot of people, I mean, if you didn't look it up online, I think a lot of people would just be like, I can't go any further. I don't know what to do because what I'm doing isn't working. And they'll put the game down, which is a real bummer when you're in the last world. Mm-hmm. So that's the worst one I can think of. I think there was at least one more that was pretty tough. But also by that point, there was one puzzle, I don't remember how the layout of it was, but like, because everything had gotten so complicated, it was this puzzle that was actually pretty easy. And I was trying all this insane BS trying to solve it and not being able to do it. I'm like, what do I have to do? Oh, yeah, like I was like burning my brain. And then when I realized what I had to do, I was like, I am the stupidest man on earth. This is some level 1 puzzle solving.
It's actually pretty smart by the developers.
Yeah, yeah, it kind of is. But like, I was like, I was trying to throw this over here, and if I jump on this and this time and throw it was not that hard. So that's okay. That was kind of funny in a way. But like that other one, man, whoever designed that needs to be fired. And then rehired, and then fired again. Oh my god.
What'd you think of the time frames of the levels? Like how long they took? Did you think it was appropriate? Like how many levels when you sat down? Yeah. How many levels would you get through in a session? I guess, or were there ever times where you only had time for maybe one level, and then you had to like cool it?
I usually played right before bed, and so I think the first time I might have gotten through the first 2 worlds when I played, but then it slowed down after that because the puzzles got trickier, and I was spending more time trying to figure each one out, and so I wouldn't necessarily even get through a world in a playthrough because I had to go to sleep. But
yeah, I think for a handheld, the time it took to finish a level was good because you could, especially the earlier levels, like you can get through a single level within probably 10-15 minutes pretty easily. So probably even less on some of those levels. So
yeah, because you look at it, and especially with like handhelds and stuff like that, you definitely want that quickness, I guess, sometimes.
Yeah.
I think if you I don't know if this is the case, I think if you knew what you were doing, if you knew the answers to all the puzzles, I don't think this game would take you more than a couple hours to get through.
If you read the signs.
if you read the signs, that are posted around, that helps a lot. But even once you've been through it once, and so you know all the little tricks,
I think you can get past that one.
Yeah, except for that one, which might take you 100 times, no matter how well you know what you're supposed to do. I don't think it's a super long game, which again, I think that's okay for a handheld. But I do kind of wonder if this game has a lot of replayability because of how puzzle heavy it is. The challenge is not in can I defeat these creatures, really. The bosses, I guess, but they're usually not super hard. It's really just solving the puzzles. So if you're just saying, like, I just want to beat something in a couple hours, I guess you could go back to it then. But I don't know if there's a lot of reason to go back. Especially, the Game Boy Advance, by the way, I think is a phenomenal handheld. It had such a great library. So, if this is the one game you have, okay, you're going to play it again, but there's so many other good things to move on to. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'd go back to it after I beat it, really. Even though I enjoyed it. It was fine, but...
Yeah, I feel like the only reason that you would replay it... there's a lot of people who like one-and-done games.
Yeah.
This is definitely great for that, to beat it once and say, I did it. However, there's a few reasons why you might want to replay it, and those are more based on your personal preferences. If you want to 100% the game.
Yeah. That's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
Or if you want to, like, speedrun.
Yeah.
Right.
And neither of those have... I'm not that guy for most of those games. I'm not a speedrunner. My son loves to speedrun.
Wow.
And it has to be pretty enticing for me to want to 100% a game.
Right. Yeah, I think I didn't do much with it. When you beat the game, it opens up like sort of a 6th world, but I think it's really just the 5th world again, but it has like some kind of a timer on you. And I didn't keep playing because I'm like, I've had enough of these puzzles. I'm not doing that.
Last thing you want is to be timed on it.
I know. It's like, nah, that's okay. I'll pass. But it has something like that. But yeah, if you wanted to go through and try to get all the big blue gems, which is one of the collectibles, and get through as fast as you could, I guess there's some stuff there. I'm not a speedrunner person either. At least not. I'm not trying to go for any records. That's for sure. Every once in a while, I might play a game and be like, oh, I wonder if I can beat this pretty quick. But that again, that's a pretty rare thing for me. Like I did it on Super Mario Brothers. I think that's probably like the only game I really did that on. But I do think so. I'm curious your take on this too, because you played on a big screen TV, but on like a handheld, I think the animation's really good. Like the character has really cool animation. His fluttering looks neat. The enemies are very simple. Like they tend to be very bulbous creatures that have cute faces, but then they kind of inflate when you grab them. But they're cute and they move well. There's some cool on the bosses. Some of them have really cool scaling. Like there's one that like fires off into the distance and comes at you like a big rocket, and so it's taking that pixel and just blowing it up super large as it comes at you. So there's some cool animations in this. I thought it was actually a really pretty game. I don't do, but I'm curious how it looks on a big screen. It's different when you take it from a Game Boy Advance to like a big TV. I don't know.
I thought that it looked great as
Okay.
well. I thought the graphics were good. The character sprite looked good. The enemy sprites looked good. I really enjoyed the artwork of I don't know that you call them cutscenes, like comic book style story narrative. It looked good on the big screen.
Wow, that's good. Okay, I was thinking this would look a little bit chunky, all blown up, but that's good. I mean, what about you, Hilary? Do you like that?
I was like, for a Game Boy Advance game, I was actually really impressed with a lot of the background graphics. It was kind of, I felt like there was some more going on there than I would kind of expect for a Game Boy Advance game. But yeah, and like I think like some of it got a little bit grainy to me, but for a Game Boy Advance I would expect there to be some graininess. So I think especially for the time, the graphics were really well done.
It's what, a 24-year-old game?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that. Yeah, you're right. You mentioned the music earlier, and it's weird because like when I'm playing it and it's there, I'm like, oh, this is nice. It's good music for this game. It seems suited, but like I can't hum you a single thing from that game. I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, it's not one that super sticks in your head.
Yeah,
I think I played the first couple levels and then I just turned the music off.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it okay. I just didn't. It's not memorable in any way.
Which is sad because the last few games that I played, it's like I will listen to those songs while I'm driving.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't usually. Well, wait. Okay, are we talking about like modern PC games?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's a little different. Like I mean, there are some because I listen to these podcasts. Like there's some people who will like listen to like the Mega Man soundtrack, and I'm like, I mean, it's good. It is a good soundtrack, but like, I'm probably not gonna listen to that on its own. But I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I'm not sure.
The one sound issue that I do have is when he would get hit. Oh no!
Oh yeah. Oh no! It's kind of adorable though. It's kind of it's sad and depressing too. But I don't think he needs to make this the whatever aha or whatever noise he's making every time he does his double jump. Like every time when you have to do it a lot in some places quickly.
Yeah.
Aha.
There's definitely a point where I just turned the sound all the way down, so I just played it.
I kept the experience because it made it was like this makes me want to finish the game because it has to end.
What does he sound like when he dies? I didn't lose a life.
He's a little braggy over here.
I also didn't go as far
He
as
also played in the first world.
I'm just checking. He was like, oh no.
It's just a longer sound.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, that is another thing too. I did end up with a lot of. I didn't never die. I did die, but I ended up with a lot of lives. At some point, I was like with like 25 or something lives because they're plentiful, and really it was just like that one puzzle did me in probably more than anything else because I'd eventually do something careless and get myself hit. But I didn't think there was any lack of lives around.
I did.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, maybe I'm just that good. I'm not though. But I've played the other Klonoa games. It's been a while, so.
Well, the nice thing is that when you do like completely die, you just restart the level that you're on, and it starts you off with I think 2 lives if you completely die. So it's not it can be annoying like the World 5 level 3 like. I ended up having him beat that one puzzle for me so that I could keep playing. And then I missed something, so I had to backtrack. And in my backtracking, I ended up dying. Yeah. And so we would have had to redo that one puzzle over again. And I'm just like, never mind, I'm good. So, but it was nice that if you did completely die, you just started the level, that one level all over again with a clean slate. So, yeah, it wasn't horrible if you lost all your lives.
Yeah, we should probably we touched a lot on the levels, the basic levels. The snowboarding level was actually one of my favorites.
I like those.
Ironically, because you went fast in it.
That's true.
And then the boss levels. How did you guys find those?
I really liked them.
I felt like, well, I only played the first one. It felt like a Mario boss.
Yeah.
You avoid him, you grab something, you throw it at him, hit him 3 times.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how they all were.
Yeah.
It was all 3 hits, and you're...
Yeah. But they do get pretty
So,
clever. Like,
yeah.
there's the one where, like, he, like, shoots out, like, a couple bubbles that have the bad guys in them, and then you have to get, like, the enemy out of the bad guy, and then that thing sort of floats around, and it gets trickier than just
I saw
shoving
there's
someone's
one that's,
head.
like, on a balancing
Yeah.
platform, and then there's one where you have to use, like, the wind to grab stuff.
Yep, yeah. So I think they're pretty clever. I don't think, except for, like, maybe the last one, and even that's not too bad, they're not real hard. Like, once you figure out their little gimmick, it's not, I don't find them to be super complicated. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, the only one I didn't do was the final boss, and I didn't really have any issues with being able to defeat them at all, so...
Yeah. Final boss is annoying or anything else, but... Alright, so you can, of course, track down copies of this, but if you play modern games, you know, you have to remember this is what did you say, 21 years old?
Well, it came out in 2001, right?
Yeah, oh god, it's more, oh god, I'm so old.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's an older game. Do you think this is a game that could still hold up today? Or are people going to look at this and be like, it's too primitive, or anything else?
I think if you like puzzle games, it holds up. If you don't like puzzle games, or if doing like repetitive actions bothers you, then it's not a game for you. But I think it is a game that is still a good kind of quick playthrough if you just want like a game that you can just pick up and play for short, like on your 15-minute break or whatever.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's definitely a game that I would probably recommend you trying. And that's coming from someone who doesn't really care for these types of games. But it is very niche in the fact that I would describe it as like a Metroidvania puzzler.
Yeah.
So if you like those style of games, and David, I don't know if you played any of the more recent Klonoa games, but I do find that this was very unique from normal Metroidvania style games as well as normal side-scrolling type games. I've never played a game that kind of combined platforming and having to like do those interaction puzzles. So
Yeah, it's like, I think the closest is some of the older Zelda games, dungeons, but it's kind of like, but the whole game is like the dungeons.
Right.
Yeah. Except weirdly, I like this game. I like Zelda games. I just don't like some of the puzzles in Zelda drive me insane. But that's just me. It's just me. I have issues. I know. I'm in the very, very small minority, and I'm well aware of that. Anyway, I do like this game a lot. I think it holds up okay, you know, unless you're really hung up on graphics. But I feel like nowadays, so many people buy indie games that the graphics are pretty comparable to this, that I don't know if that really is a thing. I like the whole the mechanic of Klonoa where he grabs things and it lets them jump and that sort of thing. So I like it. There were minimal puzzles where I felt like I really had to like look things up or I was going to be stuck. So I don't have a lot of complaints with that. The only really more recent one is that there's the sequel on Game Boy Advance, which is like Dream Champ Tournament or something, and that's supposed to be even more puzzly, and I don't know if I want to go that route. I might try it. I don't think I mentioned earlier, I think it only came out in Japan, there is like a Klonoa beach volleyball game. I don't know exactly how that goes. I haven't tried it, so I would maybe try that, I guess. But I still like Klonoa 1 and 2 a lot. I probably would be more likely to go back to those, but in enough time, I might go back to this one when I've forgotten the puzzles and I've gotten over the trauma of level 5-3. Maybe had some therapy. Yeah, I think it's worth trying out today, if you can. And the good news is thanks to the magic of like eBay, that sort of thing, you can in fact track down copies of this. And if you were to find just the cartridge alone, it would go for about $38.50, which is probably about $8.50 more than it sold for, I'm guessing. If you want it complete, the box, the manual, cartridge, all that, it's $130. If you want it brand new, still in shrink, it's $173.50. Unless you are trying to have a complete collection, or you really love Klonoa, which is fine. I think Klonoa coulda, shoulda, would have been a big mascot if it just wasn't completely lost in the shuffle. I probably wouldn't. I can't see spending $130 for it personally, even though I enjoyed it. That's a lot for a pretty short game that you're probably not going to play through a lot unless, like you said, you want to 100% it or speedrun or whatever. It actually might be a good game for 100%ing, speedrunning, people like that. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess I would revise my answer. If you're going to go out and pay for it, I'd probably skip the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
At that price.
If you were going to somehow acquire it otherwise in completely legal ways, yeah, try it for sure. I wouldn't mind spending the $38.50 for this. I would spend $38.50 for this. Even though I like having the boxes, I like having complete stuff. I couldn't justify putting down $130 for this one, even though I liked it. I just don't think so.
Yeah.
It's good. It's not $130 worth of good, in my opinion. So I still think we're kind of in agreement that it holds up pretty well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't dish out hordes of cash for it, unless you're a collector or something.
Yeah.
All right, so now we got to figure out what we're going to be playing for the next week and talking about next episode. And so, as I mentioned, I think at the top, we had to pick from PlayStation 2 games that take place in a modern setting. That doesn't mean it has to be realistic, like you can have monsters or whatever. It just has to be roughly modern. And the way we do this is we each pick 2 games we think will be good and 1 game we think might not be good. We create a big list of those. And then after that, we're each going to pick one to give a little boost for in the randomization. And then we're going to randomize and see which one we get. First, we're going to talk about which ones we brought, which ones we think are good and bad, and anything else we want to say about them. So,
cool.
Do you want to go for it, Steve?
You can go first.
Oh, fine. Be that way. Okay. So, my 3 picks were Silent Hill 2, which really it's just a game that I keep meaning to go back to, and I just have not done so. So, this is just a good excuse for me, and I know it's a good one. Yeah, that'll be fun. I picked Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which is a game that I'm partway through on one of my handhelds already. I just haven't gotten back to it, so I can continue on with that, and that's a great game. And my last one is the one I don't think will be good. I think it'll be interesting, and it's called Michigan Report from Hell. I don't think that was released in the U.S., but it is in English, and it's survival horror, and I think it has a cult following. But I think it has a cult following the way like the movies they watch on MST3K have cult followings, not like the way good movies have followings. So those are my 3 picks. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
I'm going to change one of them because you stole one of mine.
No, you could double up. We could all pick that same one.
I'm going to pick one that is similar but different.
Steve. You realize I have no notes on your thing now. Fine, go ahead. Ruin my
thought
day.
you
Nope.
didn't. Anyways. So I picked Persona 4. Yes. I'm big into JRPGs. I'm not huge into the style look of the game, but I do think it is promising based on what I've heard about it. I've never played a Persona game, so if this gets picked, it would be a good excuse to try them. Maybe I'll find something new.
Yeah, don't play in front of your kids.
Okay. I know it is modernish, kids in high school relationships, stuff like that.
I think there's at least one monster that looks like a penis. I'm not sure. I may be thinking of a different Persona game.
I picked first in our chat, and I picked GTA San Andreas.
We can both have it, because then it gets a better chance.
I'm going to change it to Vice City.
Steve, you're killing me.
And now it'll get picked because he has no notes on it.
Jesus Christ.
Both are PlayStation 2. And then GTA series has an interesting thing for me because I never really played the story of the game or never paid attention to it. Maybe I accidentally played stories, but it was pretty much just cheat codes, get all the weapons, go cause havoc. So I do feel like that would be a pretty interesting one for me. I do think that the GTA series is going to be the bust game. I know a lot of people love GTA, but like I said, whenever I played it, it was always just fooling around with cars and the physics of the game. I don't have high hopes for the actual story behind it. And then my last game is Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. I've dabbled into some Metal Gear Solid games, and all of them have been pretty good. It's like an action RPG-ish, an action game, I guess I could say. I don't know about the older, newer ones, but it does seem fun. I like stealth mode, hiding in boxes, fighting crab battles.
Sure, yeah. So, if we all pick the same one, it just means there's a better chance, a game that we all want to play.
Yeah.
So it's okay, Steve. I mean, you didn't...
I will keep that in mind for the future.
If it picks Grand Theft Autos, I don't know what I'm going to do. Vice City? I've never even heard of this. What is a Vice... What? Grand... Well, go on. Go ahead, Hilary.
All right.
I'm going to sit here nervously. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to change my name. No.
Why do I prepare for this at all? Honestly, you guys. Killing me. Go ahead.
So my first pick is going to be Dead or Alive 2. I really like the Dead or Alive series, and so being able to go back and play those I think would be a lot of fun. And they're kind of nice, quick games, so if this week's hectic, it's an easy game to get to.
True.
My next pick is Ghostbusters, the video game. I always am a little worried about games that are based off of an IP, but that one seemed to have some pretty good reviews, so be curious to see how it actually holds up and plays.
I hope it's like Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
It's probably exactly the same.
And then for my bad pick, it's Leisure Suit Larry,
Magna Cum Laude?
Yeah.
I think that's how you say that. Is that how you say that? Magna Cum Laude?
Lottie.
Lottie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magna Cum Laude.
Magna Cum Laude.
I'm going to say loud, so it's more funny.
Just
Well, that's the playoff.
when I was going through and picking games, I was going through our system, and it would show little clips of the videos, and I could not roll my eyes enough at this game, so I think it would be interesting to play through it.
Honest to God, if we get that one, I'm going to make sure that on our little thumbnail for that episode, it's going to say the woman picked this one. This wasn't the guys. We did not choose this.
It's funny because, of all these choices, I don't think I've seriously played any of them.
Oh, really?
Seriously.
Yeah.
I played, obviously, the GTA games.
Yeah.
But...
I think I played around half, but I'm even the bad ones here, I'm excited to play. Honestly, any of them, I think will be a fun conversation. So, with that being said, let's talk about the ones we're going to vote for. So I'm going to vote for Silent Hill 2, just because I really have had a craving to go back and play that. Even though it'd be kind of easier for me to pick San Andreas, because I'm already partway in. I don't know, I just have been looking for an excuse in my mind to... I don't go poop my pants while I play a scary game. So that's going to be my pick to give a little boost for. One more chance in the randomizer. It's going to be Silent Hill 2 for me. All right, Steve, what about you? Are you going to change your choice again?
I want to pick Sonic.
Great.
No, I'm gonna pick Persona 4. I would like to give that one a little extra boost. And I think that's because I really want to try it. I might go, even if it doesn't get picked, I might go try it. I think they just came out or are coming out with a new remaster of a game. So I don't know. I always see it everywhere, and it's always on people's favorite lists and stuff like that. So I think it has high hopes, and I'd like to give it an extra boost.
It's a great series. I played more the first two on PlayStation than the newer. I played a little bit of the newer ones too, but just for some reason, I played a lot of 2. Man, that was a good one. Anyway, but different. All right, Hilary, what about you?
I'm going to also give a boost to Persona 4.
Oh boy, here we go.
I enjoyed 1 and 2. I think I may have played 3 the most. I don't remember. I don't think I've played 4, so I'm excited for the chance to play it.
I actually almost voted for that too. But
Let's randomize and get Leisure Shoot Larry.
we're going to Vice City. I'm going to here we go. So, the game we're playing was published by Tecmo in the year 2000. I think this might be the oldest game on our list. It came out for the PlayStation 2, the Xbox, and the Dreamcast. It's all about fast punches, explosive arenas, and enough jiggle physics to qualify as a natural disaster. We're going to be playing Dead or Alive 2. Bum, bum, bum.
I realize you put them in a different order than obviously we talked about them.
Yes,
so
exactly. Yeah. Listen,
Well,
I
I'm
put them in
excited.
the order that I got them.
As a 99-year-old male, I'm excited for this game.
Are you glad that I'm the one that suggested these games?
I may have to put that same qualifier on this one. The woman picked this one, not the guys. You know what? Okay, I don't know. Maybe I should save it for next time. I don't know. But despite the commercials for this playing up a certain aspect of the way the characters look in the game, super solid fighting game in my opinion. So I'm excited to play this, and it will be.
At least it's not the beach volleyball one.
Yeah.
I played some Dead or Alive games. I think if you go back and listen to the first episode, fighting games were not mentioned in my repertoire, so this is interesting. And I think we talk actually a good amount in regards to not only Dead or Alive, but fighting games in general, about how, a lot of people, because you can play the computer, and that's one thing.
Yeah.
But those fighting games really come alive when you're playing against other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
And stomping or getting stomped by your friends.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of stomping. We'll have to figure out a way for all of us to get together and play, because it's easy for me to play against Hilary.
Can you play online?
Maybe? I don't know. I know I'm emulating. I've got Retro Brad as a friend, and on the bottom it says NetPlay, but I don't know how that works, or if it has to only connect to other Retro Brad. I have no idea. So
well, we can probably get together.
We'll figure out
sometime.
something.
Yeah.
Because that'll be more fun than just. I mean, I like the single player game too, but
yeah,
it'll be a little better.
Because I think one of the things that really, there was never a huge story behind fighting games. I think I want to say.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's interesting to see if they do put in a story into the single player campaign.
I think they have some kind of story, but it's not. They never go super in depth unless you're Mortal Kombat, which has a gigantic crazy background now.
Yeah, it's
that I can't follow. But
if I remember correctly, with the Dead or Alive series, each character has its own storyline, and as you play it, you unlock more costumes for them. And so some of the characters have more of a story than others, but they at least give a decent background story for each character.
Okay, so that's it. We're going to be playing Dead or Alive 2. Definitely, if you have thoughts on this, let us know. I will have info in the show description on how you can get a hold of us. And let me know what characters you play and what your thoughts are on the game in general. Otherwise, you guys have anything else?
Good.
Yep.
Good. All right, well, we'll see y'all next time. Have fun playing Dead or Alive 2. Bye.
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 Tune in next week to hear about Dead or Alive 2 and hear thought-provoking questions like this.
Cloaca. It just sounds too similar.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that the vagina pooper?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.